This is episode 46, Weekly Sports Talk with Ed. Got a lot to talk about today. We're going to be talking about the next step for the Cavaliers, what their future is looking like, what they can do at the early elimination, getting eliminated in the second round. A lot of people expect them to go further in the playoffs. They were only able to go to the second round back-to-back years. A lot of people thought they were poised for a conference finals run, but that didn't happen. And we're talking about some hockey, bowling, NFL matchups. The NFL schedules has been released, so I'm gonna be talking about some stuff there. Um, PBA, bowling. I don't know if I said it, but I'm gonna be talking about bowling, previewing some stuff going on there. Uh, I'm then obviously then the WNBA season just started as well, so I'm gonna be talking about that. Grading some of the rookie debuts that happened last night, as it will be do got another game on right now. The Liberty and Aces are finna play. I'm excited to see that game because I'm probably try to be done with this by halftime for that game so I can lock into the second half. And yeah, so to get into it, 1 second. Yeah, next step for the Cavaliers. Let's get into that. Talk about what's next for the Cavaliers. I had the topics scrolling at the bottom, but next step for the Cavaliers. That's for the Cavs. It's interesting because they had an early exit in the playoffs. Had Kenny Atkinson win Coach of the Year, a great season. They had won 64 games. So for them to get eliminated in the second round, definitely not the best way to end the season. So they also had Evan Mobley won Defensive Player of the Year. Great season from him. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley were all All-Stars this year. They had 64 and 18. They beat the Heat in the first round. In 4 games, they swept them, embarrassed the Heat really. Then they lost to the Pacers in 5 games, and they did have injuries from a few different players. But to overall, if Darius Garland does play those first 2 games, the series probably is split because I don't think the Patriots not just a team that's going to lay down. So it's like even though the Pacers won, you don't expect it, but then it wasn't just a team that was going to lay down. So them being competitive, that was expected. But as far as the Cavaliers go, you had Garland. He missed 4 games in the playoffs, missed the last 2 in the Heat series and the first 2 in the Pacers series. The Heat series, it didn't really matter because they were going to beat that Heat team regardless. And then once they played a team like the Pacers, who was actually a team that just went to the conference finals last year and that had the potential to make a run, which as we see, they were able to do that. It not having Darius Garland for those first 2 games definitely hurt. When he did come back, they were able to win one of those games. They won game 3, but the rhythm was already off with him just coming back into the lineup. Him because he didn't look good either in the really throughout that entire series. And last year Garland the way he played was inexcusable. But this year coming off an injury, so obviously hard to bounce back from that. In game 2, they also didn't have Mobley or DeAndre Hunter. Sam Merrill missed a game, and that the reason why I pointed that out because they didn't really get any bench production from Ty Jerome or Max Strus in general. They didn't get production out of either one of their key role players. And Sam Merrill, he can hit at least a few threes a game, but him being out in the game 4, I think that doesn't help either. But when I look at the core of the Cavaliers and what they have right now, you have Garland, Donovan Mitchell, DeAndre Hunter, Ty Jerome, Sam Merrill, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Dean Wade, and Isaac Okoro. Those are the 10 guys. Those are the ones that are consistently in rotation. Sometimes the guys like Sam Merrill, I think he played around 60 games this season. And didn't play every game, but he was important coming off the bench, being able to hit some threes. So I think when I look at this score, I think it comes down to 2 players that they need to either trade. Because obviously Ty Jerome, he had a great season coming off the bench. I don't think he's the guy, even though he had a slump in the playoffs. I think the 2 guys that Cleveland should look at to potentially trade is either Darius Garland or Jared Allen. I think even though this team has really been built around the way this team is constructed, kind of built it around Darius Garland. Even though Mitchell is the best player on the team, they had Garland before Mitchell, so they had to build the team around him, and that's why pairing him next to Mitchell has worked out so well. And we have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. But I think even if you trade Allen, I don't think the defense drops off because you can move DeAndre Hunter to the 4, and you can get some solid pieces back for Jared Allen. You might be able to facilitate Jared Allen and somebody else to get a Jabari Smith because I know the Rockets are going to look to make some moves this offseason with their first round exit. So I know they're definitely looking for something this offseason that they can help them get past that, get past the first round. They were the 2 seed this year. They won 50 games, I think. So the Rockets are definitely looking for something. And if the Rockets and Cavs do something, it could be a win-win for both sides. I mean, because if you get somebody like the Jared Allen, maybe single in place of 4, or Allen comes off the bench. I do think if the Cavaliers decide to keep Jared Allen and they keep their same 4, just because they haven't had injuries the last 2 years, they should explore different options, such as bringing Allen off the bench, because that helps. Your defense will never drop off if you have Mobley starting and Allen coming off the bench. Then they can provide different looks depending on who the matchup is. It just all depends on that. But I do think they should trade Jared Allen or Darius Garland. Darius Garland still has higher value, and that's based off the, and people are going, and they can use that excuse that he was injured, which he was, so they can use that. He's still going to have solid value to get the Cavs some solid pieces back if they decide to trade him. But I don't know what's out there for them to trade, because you're not going to trade, you won't trade Garland to Houston. That wouldn't make sense. So I don't know what team, trying to think of teams that need a point guard. Ain't thinking, well, maybe the Dallas Mavericks could, but I don't know what they'll give up because Kyrie is out till January, so they're gonna have to get a point guard. But if I'm the Cavs, I'm trading Jared Allen because I think they could probably get a Jabari Smith from Houston, and I think that'll help them whether he starts or comes off the bench. He's gonna add some solid bench production for them, and they can probably get more depth that way because Donovan Mitchell, he clearly isn't the issue. He's still putting up numbers. The free throw misses in that last game. He missed 6 free throws. That can't win a game like that. But aside from that, Donovan Mitchell did what he could in that series. Didn't really get Mobley and Allen weren't really aggressive until the last game. So you can't have two big men who aren't aggressive for 4 out of 5 playoff games in the second round. So you're gonna have to get rid of one of them. And then last year Mitchell was hurt, so it comes. Both guards got to be healthy. So I think I'll give it one more season with Garland, trade Allen, and see where you go from there. I think that's the next step for the Cavaliers. I think that's the best step they can make. And moving, that's what I got as far as the Cavs and their next steps. I think that's what's best for them moving forward and going into next year with this early playoff exit. Now to talk about some bowling, the PBA is having their playoffs right now. The PBA semifinals take place tomorrow, and you have EJ Tackett taking on Jesper Stevenson, and you have Graham 5 taking on Chris Vi. And the way they got there, Anthony Simonson he won 2 games against Ethan Fourier, and a pretty easy matchup for him to advance. And then EJ Tackett, and he had a first round bye. He was able to beat Anthony Simonson in a 3-match series, beat him 2 games to 1 to advance. Then Jesper Stevenson, he as a 7th seed was able to advance. He won 2 matchups, won both of them in 3 games. First against Jacob Buttriff, 2-1. Then against Andrew Anderson, 2 matchups, both went to 3 games. I think with that semifinals matchup, I think EJ Tackett got that one. He didn't have an MVP type year, so said OKC got to start their game at 2:30 p.m. because everyone in Oklahoma has a bedtime of 8 p.m. Oh wow, when is the game 7 actually at 2:30? If that's the case, that's early for a game 7. Oh, I That's kind of early for a game 7, but okay. But back to the PBA stuff. Yeah, I think NJPW gonna win that one to advance to the finals. Then on the other side, you got round 5 versus Chris Vi. And the way they got here, Cal Troop faced him for a junior in the first round. Cal Troop won 2 games to 0 to advance to take on round 5. And what was ended up being a three that ended up being a 3-match series, and Chris Vi was able to the grand final was able to win that one to advance. Then Chris Vi, he had to take on Ryan Barnes, who Ryan Barnes has been having some struggles this season. He's one of the younger players in the PBA, and Chris Vi was able to win that 2-1. Then Chris Vi beat Jason Belmonte 2-0, and wasn't as competitive as the other matchups. So now you get Chris Vi versus Grand Five in the semifinals tomorrow. So I think Chris Vi will win that, and it'll be Chris Vi and EJ Tackett in the finals, in the PBA finals next weekend. Now moving to some hockey stuff. Connor Hellebuck been having a down playoffs. Historically bad in the playoffs for somebody who was as good as him in the regular season. In the first round, the Jets beat the Blues 4-3, but he didn't have a single shutout in that series. And then in the second round, they're down 2-3 versus Stars right now. So overall, they're 6-6 in the playoffs so far. The Jets are, and Connor Hellebuck has been benched 7 times, in which they went 1-6 in those games. They were able to win one of them because the team scored 2 goals to send it to overtime in one of those games. But he's been benched 7 times and went 1-6 of those games. I'm pretty sure their game 6 is tonight. So that's a game that he definitely can't afford to be benched in. He's had 2 shutouts so far. Both came in the Star Series, which they won. But he's allowed 7 goals in 3 other games in the Blues series, and I'm pretty sure those were all at home. Over through these playoffs, he has 270 save attempts, 233 saves, 37 goals against, only at 86.3 save percentage, and allowing 3.18 goals per game. So I don't even think the MVP has been announced yet, but I mean, it can't affect his case because the MVP is a regular season award. But that for the Winnipeg Jets to be as good as they were this season, and for Connor Hellebuck to have a season that he had, falling down, having this bad of a playoffs where you're benched multiple times and giving up 3 goals a game, I don't see them winning that game 6 tonight. I'm pretty sure it's in Dallas too. I'd be surprised if they force game 7. I don't know what it is, but him struggling in these playoffs, but it's going to cost him, and it's likely going to cost him tonight with him being this bad. It's definitely going to be some conversations had with the Jets organization this off season, because even though he's great and an MVP candidate, this is a constant theme with him get to the playoffs, kind of like Embiid in the NBA, has a great regular season, gets to the playoffs and just throws it away, so they don't get far. So they likely won't get far. I thought the Jets get further, but their season is likely going to end in the second round tonight. Next, the NFL schedule has been released. So that's 5 matchups. The 5 matchups I'm most excited for. The first one is the Week 1 game between the Panthers and Jaguars. Travis Hunter and McMillan both making their debuts that game. I'm excited for that because I like Bryce Young and Trevor Lawrence, so I want to see which quarterback is going to be able to take that next step, because both of them are in positions now where they have to take that next step. Trevor Lawrence, he's in a position where the Jaguars have to get back to the playoffs. They went there 2 years ago, weren't able to get back there last season. So I think Trevor Lawrence has to have a great season. I think Bryce Young having McMillan, that's going to help him. And I think both of these teams, I haven't looked at the entire schedule yet, but I definitely think the Panthers can improve. The Jaguars division is so weak, they probably can improve too. So they should be hunting for the playoffs again. And not Trevor Lawrence, but Travis Hunter, he's going to be a great addition. I don't know if he's playing both sides. I don't think that's realistic for him to play both sides. But that Jaguars team is going to be nice with him. Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne. That's going to be a fun team to watch. They could win the South again, because I'm still not really moved by the Texans. Like CJ Stroud is great, but I'm still not convinced by them. Even if they do get to the playoffs, probably a second round exit again. I don't. I just don't see the Texans getting far in the playoffs. Then the Bengals and Broncos week 4. That's a Monday night game. I'm excited for that one because they put on a great game last year. I think the the Bengals won 27-24. They still was both in the hunt for the playoffs. The Broncos obviously ended up making it, but the Bengals they can't start slow again this season. But this gonna be a great matchup in the AFC. On maybe they can repeat what they did last year and have another fun game that comes down to the wire, comes down to a field goal. But I think Bo Nix is going to take a leap. Joe Burrow is going to be great. Jamar Chase is going to put up numbers. But yeah, it's going to be. I'm excited for that one, and that's a good Monday night football game. I done seen some of the Monday night football games. They look good this year, looking better than the ones we had last year. So I'm definitely excited for that one. Early in the season, two teams that's going to be in the hunt for the playoffs later in the year. So that game could determine a lot by the end of the season, depending on who wins it, determining seeding and things of that nature when it's time for the playoffs. The third matchup I'm most excited for is the Commanders taking on the Chiefs week 8. And I think that's a Monday night game too. Yeah, that's a Monday night football game as well in week 8. Jaden Daniels' first time, I think, his first time playing against Patrick Mahomes. And it's going to be an Arrowhead as well. So I'm excited for that. Seeing Jaden Daniels versus Patrick Mahomes, first ever matchup. You've seen how great Jaden Daniels was last season. Let's see if he can repeat that this year and lead the Commanders further, maybe lead them to a Super Bowl, get all the way to the conference championship last year. And that's still a great team. Maybe they win that matchup against the Chiefs, but I don't think Mahomes gonna have the down year that he had this past season. But then it's gonna be a good one. It could be a low scoring game as well because I think both teams gonna play good defense in that game. But I'm excited for that. The fourth game I'm most excited for this upcoming season, the Ravens and Packers week 17. I think this one, this could be one of the best offensive games of the season. Like this might be super high scoring. But the main reason I'm excited for this is because of how late it is into the season. Interconference game between two teams who are going to be in the playoff hunt, unless something drastic happens like an injury, which we don't want. But if everybody stays healthy, this is going to be an important game because this could determine seed in either conference. Because the Packers could be a team, but they could win the division this year, or if they lose this game, it could be why they lose the division. So it's going to come down to that. This could affect seeding either way, but interconference game that's going to be important for both sides just to see how they fare against another playoff team that late and that deep into the season. So I think that's going to be a fun one. Then the fifth game I have on here is the Eagles versus Raiders, week 14. That's a Sunday game. Ashton Jeanty seeing what he can do against the defense like the Eagles. Like a lot of people think that Jeanty wouldn't put up those numbers if he was in the SEC. Well, it don't really matter because he played at Boise State and he put up the numbers, which is why he got drafted high to the Raiders. Also, like Brock Bowers, one of my favorite tight ends in the league. So seeing them go against the top defense like the Eagles and seeing what they'll be able to do. And then obviously I have to put the Eagles game on the list since that's my favorite team. But I think that's the game I'm most looking forward to because like the Cowboys, the game that started the season, we play them every year. There's really no hype behind that. I think we play the Rams in week 3, so that should be a good game. But the one I'm most looking forward to is this one against the Raiders because I want to see how well Ashton Jeanty will do against one of the top defenses in the league. And I think Brock Bowers, I don't know if we'll be able to shut him down because he put up numbers with 3 different quarterbacks last season. That's not something just any tight end is going to be able to do. So those are the 5 matchups in the NFL I'm most looking forward to this season. And then to move on to some New Japan stuff. The New Japan Pro Best of the Super Juniors tournament has been going on. And it's been some fun matches so far. Nick Wayne's been killing it in New Japan. He's 3-1 right now. He lost this morning to Kevin Knight. But it was a good match. He had his first match against Show. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. I think all 4 of Nick Wayne's matches have been really good. I think he's had the best match quality out of anybody in the Japan tournament so far. Kevin Knight has won 3, which is interesting since New Japan has two AEW guys. One of them gets to. I mean, those the matches they had this morning. They had Kevin Knight and Nick Wayne fight each other. Kevin Knight ended up winning that to get his first win, and that was Nick Wayne's first loss. But that was a great match. So Nick Wayne, he's looking great in Japan. I think it's definitely going to help him. He after this tournament, I think a lot more people gonna know who Nick Wayne is based off of this tournament. He's getting the reactions too. He's like I said, the match has been great. He had a match against trying to see El Desperado. That was a good match. The match against Robbie Eagles, that was a fun match. And so Nick Wayne has some really good matches in the tournament so far. This is the 5th day of the tournament. Kushida, he's been wrestling in New Japan in this tournament as well. Had some fun matches. Robbie Eagles they got two guys named Robbie Eagles and Robbie X. Both of those guys have been putting on good matches. I've been enjoying the tournament of the Super Juniors, not the main guys from Japan, but the younger guys that are working their way up and having some good matches. Like Clark Connors, he done had some fun matches there. I've been enjoying the tournament. I think some of the top matches was from day one. The match with Nick Wayne and Show, that was one of the best matches from day one. The Takahashi versus Kushida, his win against Kushida, I think that was a great match from the first day as well. And the day 2 matches, Ninja Jack over Robbie X, that was a great match, great back and forth contest. Robbie Eagles over Yo, that was a good match, like the middle of the day 2 tournament. Then day 3, you had Robbie X taking on Kushida, and it was a fun match that I enjoyed. Mayu over Tashi Ishimura, that was a fun one. As I said earlier, Nick Wayne and El Desperado, that was a good match. I think I'm starting to enjoy El Desperado matches more. He's definitely been enjoying his work. Watching him in New Japan. Then day 4, which was a few days ago for the tournament, Dragon Dia versus Clark Connors. That was a fun one. I enjoyed that match. Francisco Akira over Takahashi, and that was another fun one from day 4. That was one of the better matches. And I think the match that Nick Wayne and Kevin Knight had this morning, I think that was the best match of the tournament so far. I don't know how many days left in the tournament, but that's definitely the best match of the tournament so far. I think that might be the best wrestling match of the month, to be honest. I might have to go back and watch that one, but I did enjoy that one from day 5. Still 2 more matches I've yet to watch from day 5, so I'll do that once I'm done with this. But yeah, the tournament's been fun so far. Those are some of the top matches, some of the top names that's been making a name for themselves in Japan right now. So I've been enjoying that. It's been worth it watching New Japan. So, and then moving on to one of the bigger topics for today's episode, the WNBA grades as the Liberty and Aces are playing right now. These are I'm gonna break down. I got 7 or 8 grades for the rookies who made their WNBA debuts yesterday. There was 3 games that took place. But first, I start with Paige Buckers making her debut for the Dallas Wings. She finished with 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block, shooting 3 of 10 from the field, 0 2 from 3, 4 4 from the free throw line in 30 minutes in a game that they did lose. I give it a C minus. Wasn't terrible. Even though she only shot 30%, she was doing other stuff on the court. Obviously not the greatest debut, but I give it a C minus. Definitely could have been better. But I don't think this is going to be a constant thing for her. She just got to get into a rhythm in these next few weeks, and I think she'll be fine. And Sarah Ashley Baker for the Los Angeles Sparks, they won their game against the Valkyries, but she only played 13 minutes. She had 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, shot 1 of 3 from the field, 0 2 from the 3-point line. I give her a C. Obviously, she didn't get a lot of minutes because the Sparks stayed. I mean, they're a team that finished with one of the worst records in the league last year, and they add some more depth, and they're trying to make a push for the playoffs this season. So she wasn't going to get a lot of minutes this game, which is fine, but she did. She could have played better, 1 of 3, not the best, and 0 2 from the 3-point line. So I'll give it a C because it could have been better, but it's not. Didn't get a lot of minutes, only 13 minutes. I had to see more to really give it a better grade than that. Kara Linskins for the Golden State Valkyries. The Valkyries in a weird spot because their top pick decided to stay overseas for another year, so they had to release like two or three of their rookies. So now the only rookie they got left is an undrafted girl who played. She played 3 minutes and 40 seconds last night. Had one steal, one turnover, and one foul. So I give it a D plus. I mean, she at least put in the effort in those 3 minutes that she had to play, but she's just in a weird spot. I mean, I don't know how much she's gonna play this season, but I give it a D plus. Um, wasn't able to get any points. I think she shot over one from the field, but she did have a turnover and a foul, so not the not the best use of those 3 minutes that she had. But she did get one steal, which a lot of players can't even get one steal in 20 minutes. So I will give her that. Then it was I think this was from the first game. It was the yeah, Ladina and Kusa for the Lynx. The two they came in late in the game. They didn't really get too much time. They had 8 combined minutes, 0 points, two combined turnovers, and but then she had three fouls. And overall, as a duo debut for them, not they only had 8 combined minutes. I just give it a D minus because I got to see what they can do when they get more minutes over the season. So not too much there, but for the next one, Sonya Citron, she had a great game for the Mystics last night, leading them to a 94-90 win over the Atlanta Dream. She had 19 points, two assists, two rebounds, shot 6 or 7 from the field, 2 or 3 from three, 5 or 6 from the free throw line, and made the last two free throws of the game, which was the most important free throws of the game. So I get it an A. I feel like Sonya Citron had the best debut out of anybody last night in the WNBA. She was effective on both ends. She was able to put up points. She put up 19 points, almost had 20. She was able to make the last two free throws of the game, which in a high pressure situation, a lot of rookies wouldn't be able to handle that. So I had to give it an A. That's a great debut. Led them to a win. Was very efficient, shooting 6 or 7 from the field. So great debut from her. And her teammate, Kiki Irfan, she had 14 points, she did foul out. She had 6 fouls. She had 2 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 4 or 10 from the field, 6 or 8 from the free throw line. I give it a B plus just because she fouled out. If she didn't foul out, I probably would have gave it an A. But the game ended up being a 4 point game. They could have used her down the stretch, but she did shoot. I mean, 40%. That's good for a debut. And 6 or 8 from the free throw line. That's 75%. That she was being aggressive, being able to get to the free throw line. So it was a lot of positive spots from her. So I give it a B plus. So her and Sony, they look like they're gonna have some good rookie seasons playing with the Mystics. They might be the stars of that team if they continue playing like this. But they both had good debuts. And then Tina Tahina Papo for the Atlanta Dream. She had 7 points, one steal, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 3 or 6 from the field, 1 or 3 from the 3 point line. So the Dream lost by 4, but she didn't get as many minutes. I think she played about 17, 18 minutes in the game, but I give it a C plus because she made the most of her time. She did 50% from the field. That's good. 33% from three, not great, but she only took 3 attempts, so it's not nothing egregious. Like I said, 7 points, adding 3 rebounds, adding 4 assists, really just being all over the court. I give it a C plus because she could have played better in the time she had, but she wasn't terrible. She had a solid game, but and yeah, and Michigan ended up winning that one by 4. And then those are for the rookies that made their debuts yesterday because there's still some games going on this weekend with the NBA season being back. But with that being said, moving to athletes of the week, I have for the PVF for the Pro Volleyball Federation. I'm gonna go with Brittany Abercrombie having 32 points, 62 total attacks, 28 kills, 8 digs, 4 blocks, and a 40.3 hit percentage, leading Orlando Valkyries to a 4-set win over the India Ignite in the PVF Championship. For the PBA, the Pro Bowling Association, I went with Chris Vi with a 217-199 win and a 226-175 win over Jason Belmonte in the quarterfinals, and was the only guy to win his only got a sweep in the playoffs this weekend, last weekend for the PBA. For the NHL, I went with Frederick Anderson, For the Hurricanes, led them to two straight victories to win the series 4-1 against the Hurricanes. They won against the Capitals to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. He had in those two games they had a combined uh, only gave up 3 goals, had 40 save attempts, had 37 saves, had a 92.5 save percentage. And he, like I said, they won both of their games to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. For the NBA, I went with Shea this week. OKC went 2-1 this week. It is a 3-3 series now, but he was not the reason for them losing that last game that they lost for Denver to force a game 7. It was really between Jokic and Shea. I just went with Shea this week because he did have 2 out of those 3 wins from this week with a 25 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steal game on the 8 of 19 from the field and 9 of 12 from the free throw line in game 4. In game 5, he had 31 points, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds, shooting on 52, 33, 100 splits. And that was game 5. And then game 6, the one that they lost, he still put up 32 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 11 of 16 from the field, 8 of 11 from the free throw line, and 2 of 4 from 3. So Shea had a great week. Like I said, it was between him and Jokic. It could have went to either one of them. I just went with Shea because he had 2 out of 3 wins. But game 7 tomorrow, I do have OKC winning. I don't think J-Dub will play that bad again. I think J-Dub is going to step up. Even he's been off this series, but I think he can put up another. He did have a 20-point game already. He can put up another 20-point game because Shea's going to do his thing. It just depends on can he get something out of Chet or J-Dub. And I think J-Dub has to drop 20 for them to get the win tomorrow. And I do think it'll happen. I do think OKC win that game. Probably about 5 or 6 points. It's going to be a close game because Denver not just going to lay down. Well, we said that last year when they faced the Timberwolves, and look what happened. But we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. For the MLB, I went with Shohei Ohtani leading the Dodgers did go 2-3 this past. Oh, they went 3-2 this past week. It might be 3-3 because I didn't watch their game against the Angels last night. So not counting that game, Ohtani had a total of 5 runs, 7 hits, and 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. He had a good week. For the WWE, I went with Penta for this week. Went 1-1. The match with Dominic was cool. I don't think it was spectacular, but it was a good match with him and Dom at Backlash, and the match with Chad Gable on Raw. That was also a solid match, which he ended up getting the win in. So I give it to Penta this week. For AEW, I went with Mina Shirakawa, winning a great fatal 4-way match between her, Toni Storm, Scott Blue, and Azumi. That's how you say her name, to challenge Toni at Double or Nothing. That was a great match. Probably the best match from Dynamite this past week. Yeah. For TNA, I went with Matt Cardona winning the fatal 4-way match against Mance Warner, Ace Austin, and Elijah to challenge Steve Macklin for the International Championship. That was a fun 4-way match as well. So great stuff by Matt Cardona. All 4 of the guys looked great in that match, but Matt Cardona getting the win. Great. He had a great showing. For the WNBA, I went with Kelsey Plum. She had 37 points to open the season, and I'm pretty sure that she set a record with that. She had 37 points to open the season. She also had 2 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals, shooting 11 of 19 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. She shot 11 of 11 from the free throw line. Yeah, she had 37 to open the season. He had a most successful WNBA record for most points by a player in their season opener. Setting a new team with the Sparks. So she had led the Sparks to an 84-67 victory over the Valkyries. She was on fire all game last night. So yeah, set a record. So shout out Kelsey Plum. That was a great game. Then for New Japan, I went with Nick Wayne. He went 3-1 this week in the Best of Super Juniors tournament, and all 4 of his matches were really good. So shout out Nick Wayne, and to cap it off, end with tennis for athletes of the week. I went with Jasmine Poloni She won 2 matchups this week. She's the first woman to. She's the second Italian woman to win the Rome tournament. Third to make it to the finals of the Rome tournament. Second one to win it. Oldest player to win a Canadian Rome title in the Open era. The first Italian to win multiple WTA 100 titles, the 1,000 titles, and then on May 15th she had she won back-to-back games. She won two sets against Paige Stearns, and she won that pretty convincingly. And then she had to fight for being down, but she ended up coming out on top, winning that one. She fought back and then ended up winning. Then early this morning, she beat Coco Gauff, and she became the third Italian woman to reach the finals of the Italian Open finals, and the second woman to win it. So shout out to her. And that's gonna cap it off for Weekly Sports Talk with Ed, episode 46. Those are my athletes of the week. Make sure y'all leave a like, comment on the video, and subscribe if you're seeing the replay of this. Peace.